All right, shalom, shalom. I'm going to start out this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the bishops, a great millstone that rule well, that teach well, while learning the truth, 100% according to the Bible. And I also want to say shalom to the elect and shalom to the Akwaf, which are the sisters that are sincere in your children. Shalom. And in today's video, as you brothers can see, it's another update on World War III, on the events that are taking place around the world, keeping up with the news and things of that nature. As we know, the Lord have said, Ezekiel 3:17, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman into the house of Israel, a people before a place, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and you specklebirds that may look like these heathen nations, give them warning from me, right? So it says, that's basically what we're to do. Give you brothers and sisters warning of the things that are taking place in the earth, man, as the Lord have ordained the men of the Lord to do, right? So as you can see, this is another update video, and I'm going to read the title of the video. It says, Emergency Alert, High Priority Nuclear Codes Being Transmitted, and U.S. Considered Drone Strikes on the Cartels. So, I mean, all of these things are happening around the earth, man. Things are steady increasing, man. Evils and only evils, man, are coming to this place, America, and around the world. But we're going to get into this video, listen to what the guy has to say, NY Prepper. And then, we basically going to get a few scriptures, Lord's willing, it could be edifying. So with that being said, I'm going to say fair use under the 1976 Copyright Act. I'm not being paid for this video. This is only for educational purposes only. So with that being said, fair use.
2025. And I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 16:09 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from all over the world. So late last night we had a high priority nuclear code transmitted by U.S. nuclear forces.
All right.
This code,
and we know them transmitting this nuclear code and all of these things that are being done is ultimately them preparing themselves, like we've been seeing all throughout the media and through various, posts that I've been posting and other brothers been putting up that you have been seeing, that all of these militaries around the world are basically preparing their military. Like, got the United States testing nuclear missiles, and things of that nature. They just did an ICBM, which is an intercontinental ballistic missile test, I believe, like not too long, maybe a few months back, 2-3 months ago, they did one. So, I mean, they're all getting their military might prepare for this third world war that they know is about to happen. So I'm going to read a precept real quick. Bear with me. Because we see these wars happening, man. Wars are already happening around the earth, but the main war, right, which is this third world war, is on the horizon, man. And it's going to come soon eventually, So this is Revelations chapter 11. Verse 14, I should say, Salakia. It said the second war was past, right? So we know that the second world war is already taking place throughout history. It started in the time, I believe, either it started in like 1938, 1939, and it lasted all the way to 1945. That is past. But it says, and behold, the third woe coming quickly, which is this third world war, which will be a nuclear world war. That's why you got America, like it's saying in this video, sending out nuclear frequencies and things of that nature to their bombers, to their ICBMs and their submarines. They're preparing and getting all of these things ready because they know ultimately that this war is going to happen, man. It's biblical prophecy. All of these things has to play out like the Lord said, and these elites know that. They know it's going to be a third world war. That's why they're trying to build these bunkers and things of that nature now, thinking they're going to be able to escape the judgment of the Lord, man. Right? But yeah, we're going to get back into the video. I just wanted to get that precept. But yeah, this world war is coming, man. Nothing is going to stop it. But we know ultimately, and let me get that. Bear with me. Let me get that. Matthew chapter 24. The water that you have by Shem Yahushai. I'm going to get Matthew 24:6, but I'm going to read it in the NLT. Right? And it said, and you will hear of wars and threats of wars, right? We know a threat is somebody basically saying something, and I'm going to look up that word threat so we can get a better understanding of the word, right? But these are threats being made of war. You got Donald J. Duck, basically coming out and saying that, if Iran doesn't come into a deal and agreed to this, that, and the third, that them and Israel are going to nuke it. I posted a link of that not too long ago. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it, Lord's will, if I can. But, all of these threats of wars, man, all of these are the signs, right? So that word threat means a statement of an intention to inflict pain. And that's what the U.S. is basically telling Iran and all of these other nations, that if you don't abide by this rule that we're trying to make you follow under, if you don't, we're going to inflict pain on you. And that's why the U.S. is over there having all of those, I believe they said over 10 B-2 stealth bombers over there in the Middle East right now, which is being held at the Diego Garcia military base over there in the Middle East, or what they call the Middle East. We know that's not the biblical name of it, but that's what they call it. So, the Middle East. And it says to inflict pain, injury, damage, or hostile action on someone in retribution for something done or not done, right? And that's ultimately what they're going to do. They said if Iran doesn't come into this peace deal or come into this deal of giving Israel and America all of their nuclear information and the things they have gathered up, nuclear information to build these bombs, that they're going to destroy their nuclear bases. And we know ultimately that all these things are going to happen because it's all going to set up that third world war, man, and the downfall of America, Babylon the Great. So I'm going to get back to Matthew 24:6, where I left off at. And it said, and you will hear of wars and threats of wars, right? That's all we're hearing flowing through the earth, but don't panic. Yes, these things must take place, but the end won't follow immediately. And we know the end won't follow immediately, like I said, with that thermonuclear destruction of America, because there still has to be more prophecies that need to be fulfilled. So before that third world war actually heats up to the point where they're pushing buttons and things of that nature, it has to be, the MOTB has to be made mandatory, and as well as Jacob's Trouble needs to, pop off. So I'm going to go to another thing, another link that I basically had, furthermore proving that we're getting close to this third world war, then I'm gonna get back into the video, Lord's will. Right. This is basically what I was telling you brothers about, that I was referring to. It said the U.S., right, could bomb Iran by weekend. They're saying in the weekend, but we know that all of these things are going to happen when the Heavenly Father allows them to happen, not when Esau says it, because these devils always say they're going to do something. But we know, as it says in Proverbs 21, that the king's heart, meaning his mind, is in the hands of the Lord. So ultimately, the Lord is going to allow these nations to do these things on his timing, not when they say that it's going to happen. But this all goes into what I read in Matthew 24:6 about the wars and threats of wars, But yeah, you see it. It said U.S. could bomb Iran by weekend if Tehran refuses to meet demands. And those demands are basically abiding by the things that America wants them to do, which we know ultimately they will not abide by, because that's why this third world war is going to take place, because it's biblical, But we're going to get back into this video,
This code is known as the Foxtrot message. And this is basically one of the highest priority messages sent out to our nuclear forces from U.S. Strategic Command. And it was sent out by this plane right here that you see. This is a Boeing E-6B Mercury, and it had the call sign Volv 55. And it was actually flying with all of its flight information kept private, which is something new that they've been doing the last couple of weeks. I don't know if this is a new directive from the latest president, but we'll have to wait and see what happens, because this is very, very serious. Okay, Foxtrot messages are extremely rare, and they're messages that are encrypted and sent out to our submerged nuclear-armed submarines. Okay,
right? Salakia, that's an ad, brothers and sisters. So I'm gonna get another precept, because we're in that time right now, as we can see. I'm going to go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3, and these are the times we're in. You got the U.S. stock market, things of that nature collapsing, and all type of, other things bad happening around the world and in America. And then you're still having DJT, right? Basically telling people to not panic, that things are going to get okay with the stock market and stuff of that nature, and we understand what the Lord says about that false peace, right? So this is, all right, this is 1 Thessalonians 5:3, and I'm gonna read it in the NLT. I'm gonna get the KJV version as well, but I'm gonna read the NLT. Well, I'm gonna read the KJV first, Salakia. Read that version first, KJV. Then I'll get the NLT, because the NLT is a good one as well. This is 1 Thessalonians 5:3, KJV. For when they, meaning these Edomites, these people that are in power right now, when they shall say peace and safety, which is what we're seeing happening all around the earth, they're telling you that things are going to get better. I believe I watched in the news like yesterday, not too long ago, where Trump that basically said that he took some tariffs off or lowered the tariffs on a lot of these countries. So these people in America are getting that false sense of hope that, you know, maybe he's going to follow through with the things he says he's going to do, that things will get better. So, you know, we're in this time now, man, for when they shall say peace and safety, right? Then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So that's what we're waiting on. This black swan event or whatever it is that the Lord may allow to happen, man. It could be the U.S. attacking. I mean, we don't know, man. It could be the U.S. attacking Iran, you know, which allows this stuff to get more intensified, which is going to, you know, ultimately allow this devil to come in with great wrath and I mean, we never know how the Lord is going to allow it to unfold, but we know that it's coming, right? And this is that same precept, but in NLT. And it says, when people are saying everything is peaceful and secure, which they're saying now, you know, even though we see all around us, the stock market is crashing, everything is getting worse and worse in this economy, especially here in America, right? But he's still saying, right, DJT, which is this wicked ruler that it tells you about, I believe, in the book of Isaiah 19, this cruel Lord that'll rule over the people. We're seeing all of the things that are happening in this place, right? But he's telling you that it's going to be all right, that, you know, stop panicking, things are going to get better, trust in him, all of these different types of things, right? So it says, then disaster will fall on them as suddenly as a pregnant woman's labor pains begin, and there will be no escape. So, you know, ultimately we know that the Lord is about to bring judgment upon this place, no matter what it is that man's saying and telling us about how things are going to get better and greater. You know, it's not ultimately going to be anything great coming to this place, America, or this world, you know. And I'm gonna get another precept just furthermore talking about that world war. Bear with me. But yeah, man, that's why these people are, you know, getting their militaries ready. You know, you got China getting their militaries ready, North Korea, Iran, Russia, all of these nations are loading up their nuclear missiles and silos and things of that nature and getting them prepared, man. Prepared to be shot off for that day that we know is about to come soon, man. You know? Yeah, I go to Joel. And we know ultimately the Lord is going to do this so he can judge these nations, man. That's why he's going to have them fight against each other in this third world war, to judge them for the things that they have done for the Lord's to the Lord's people, man. To the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American men and women, man, around the four corners of the earth. Right? This is Joel chapter 3, and I'm going to start at 9. It said, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Right? Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. So, you know, you got nations like Iran at one point in time, which were weak, you know, didn't have the military capabilities to do things that they're making threats about now, but seeing as though they have Russia, right, which is odd that it tells you about in Ezekiel 38, they have the power and the strength behind them now to where they're confident enough to basically threaten America, to stand up to the whore, you know, and that's ultimately going to lead to this third world war. So, you know, that's pretty much everything I wanted to say in today's video. Like I said, you know, it was just a quick hit on the things that are taking place in the earth. But with that being said, to the next time, I'm going to say shalom.